Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Oh well, there it is. I guess the trend continues. Another day, another Biden slush fund comes to light and is totally exposed. This time, a $250 million grift disguised as a migrant shelter operation contract. Ah yes, just a refugee shelter taking care of poor innocent people being persecuted by cartels or corrupt governments. Yeah, there's only one problem. A $250 million a year contract that was funding a supposed shelter, a massive facility that you'd expect at that level of funding would be, well, sheltering all kinds of people. I mean, tens of thousands at least, right? Arguably, even hundreds of thousands would be justified considering the figure, but there's only one problem. This shelter that was soaking up so much taxpayer dollar to operate has been frickin' empty. Completely empty. Not a soul in sight. Just another phony money pit being kept operational. I guess so corrupt bureaucrats could keep the taxpayer cash flow headed straight to their pockets in the Cayman Islands. Holy frickin' moly, I mean, how else can you possibly explain this? Again, another massive corruption and fraud scandal has come to light, despite the Democrats telling us none of it really exists. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so take a look at this clip that popped up on my timeline. Absolutely shocking stuff.
Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge, has targeted a nonprofit based here in San Antonio, saying its contract for $215 million a year is canceled.
Doge said the Department of Health and Human Services had terminated a contract paying Family Endeavors $18 million a month to operate an empty facility in West Texas.
The organization is also known as Endeavors, and you may have seen its administrative headquarters and wellness center on De Zavala Road, where it has a cluster of buildings and storefronts. Doge focused on an overflow housing facility for migrant families Endeavors operates in Pecos, Texas, which Doge says has been sitting empty, while Endeavors has been receiving the $18 million per month. Homeland Security reposted Doge's X post, tagging U.S. Attorney Ed Martin with the words, "Please investigate," to which Martin responded, "Duly noted, we are on it." I went to Endeavor's San Antonio headquarters today to get a comment from the organization. They responded late this afternoon by email. Endeavors was responsible for maintaining operational readiness at the Pecos shelter, ensuring the ability to scale from cold status, operationally ready but not actively serving children, to full use of 3,000 beds as needed. Decisions regarding facility use and migrant sheltering locations were made by the federal government, not Endeavors. Any claims of corruption or mismanagement are baseless. Doge also claims Endeavors received its HHS contract in 2021 after a former ICE employee and Biden transition team member joined the nonprofit.
Endeavor's government disclosure forms show its revenues shot up in 2021 from $50 million to $658 million, reaching a peak of $1.1 billion in 2022.
So let's just very quickly do a quick recap of what's starting to become a pattern here. In 2021, a Biden transition team member conveniently lands a cushy gig at an NGO and they suddenly get handed a $250 million contract. And by 2022, this corrupt organization was raking in over $1 billion in total revenue a year. Holy frickin' moly. And for what? For readiness? Readiness for what? To line their own damn pockets? Here's $1 billion, Corn Pop. Make sure you stay ready. $1 billion for readiness. Just in case, we need to ever expand our illegal voter importation racket. There is a pattern that is being formed here. Form an NGO, a nonprofit, and then put a high-power connected Democrat in that position, and then just start funneling billions of taxpayer dollars for some make-believe cause. I mean, think about that. A $250 million contract just to be ready. It's insane, I immediately translate that to the private sector. Imagine a company producing some sort of good. They got manufacturing, warehousing, distribution set up, doing $250 million a year. Imagine the facility, imagine the operation, just the scale of it. The amount of business you would have to be doing, the amount of employees you would have, the operation would be likely widespread. But in government, where you're just dealing with make-believe money, taxpayer dollars and money printer go, Federal Reserve fake fiat currency, Well, I guess $250 million is chump change. Just put it in my pocket, Joe, and then I'll rent this warehouse, and we'll just leave it at that. It's unbelievable. I mean, let's break it down. The facility has 3,000 beds, and the latest round of funding that they got, I guess, was $1 billion. Well, take $1 billion and then divide it by 3,000. What does that come out to? About $330,000 per bed. Are they sleeping on mattresses made of solid freaking gold? What the hell are they spending this money on? And how many more of these stories will we come across? You know, it's got me thinking about this viral moment from Congressman Waltz, who exposed these kind of fiscally irresponsible rackets on the House floor a couple of years ago.
This bag of bushings, stamped out by machinists, they need a high school diploma. Not anything high tech about this. All of this bag is compliant with the FAA specifications. How much do you think the Air Force pays for this bag of bushings?
I don't know, Congressman.
$90,000. This is a $90,000 bag of bushings that you need for any jet turbine engine just to operate. So the exorbitant cost due to DoD only buying commercial parts from the OEMs, which is essentially sole source, is literally driving us out of business. I mean, the interest on our debt alone is now exceeding, for the first time in American history, the entire defense budget. We can't afford it anymore.
$90,000 for a bag of bushings that normally would cost $100. It feels like the exact same thing. Unelected government bureaucrats who are connected, playing with money like it's monopoly money. Except it's not monopoly money. It's your taxpayer dollars. And when it's not your taxpayer dollars, when it's just coming from money printing, well, it's debt that is then being stacked to be paid off by future generations. In other words, your children. There's clearly a racket that is being exposed here. A government-funded, money laundering, money funneling slush fund racket. And again, I'm going to keep referring to the latest Stacey Abrams scandal that Lee Zeldin stumbled upon. $2 billion plus another $18 billion being handed over to a climate initiative ran by Stacey Abrams, a failed politician in Georgia. What the hell is she doing running a $2 billion climate initiative? It makes no sense. And you know, it's got me thinking of all the jobs that Joe Biden created. Remember when he said he was bringing back all kinds of good paying jobs? Yeah, I guess this is what he was referring to. I'm sure you guys remember doing the analysis on those jobs reports. A lot of the jobs that were being created in some monthly reports, the majority of them were government jobs. And so what exactly were they doing? Just printing all kinds of money or taking taxpayer dollars and then creating these shell nonprofits, let's call them, hiring a bunch of people on the government payroll, skimming whatever they want off the top, sending it to the Caymans, and then fudging the numbers for these job reports? Ooh, look how many jobs we've created. Yeah, no wonder. When you're taking $1 billion to run a facility that's empty, but on the books paying 1,000 people who work there, yeah, I guess you could make any jobs report look fantastic and just kick the can down the road. Fudge the jobs reports and stack the debt on the next generation for them to deal with. At least Joe Biden got his headline. I don't know about you guys, but I think what we're seeing here is not just a coincidence. I think we are unveiling a system built to funnel taxpayer money into leftist-controlled NGOs, activist groups, and corrupt bureaucracies that only exist to fund themselves and their political allies. And they are so entitled to it that the second someone tries to cut the flow of cash or even look behind the curtain, they all go in full meltdown mode and scream fascism. Absolutely insane. And again, any Democrat claiming that this administration isn't finding fraud, waste, and abuse, well, you're either out of your damn mind or your head is so far shoved up your own behind that you've lost the ability to see and hear. Absolutely insane stuff, but I guess par for the course, just another day following the activities of Doge. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.